Too good. Big up people. You are T. Who are we? You are T. Who are we? We're having it, people. We're having it. Hey, we're having it. We're here to preview tomorrow, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Aston Villa on fire versus Manchester United. We don't know what's going on.
Nope.
So we're here to discuss. Big up Saeed. Saeed, we're doing a watch-alongs today.
Dead day of football.
Honestly.
Which means tomorrow.
It's gonna all happen, but big up to everybody. Love and like everybody. Please smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We're shadow banned, but we don't give a damn. Big up our sister Sophia Talks Football. Please make sure you go and check her channel out. Big up Sheikh Harian as well. Yo, you need to pray for Manchester United when you go to Umrah, bro. Trust me. Big up Elite Baller as well. Please go and check out his channel as well. Big up. Listen, glad that you're here. We are we've got a big game tomorrow. You know what? I never really genuinely bought into this kind of thing that way. He's got 2 games left. I've said to you on the Mandem, and I've said to you on many videos, Saeed, that I don't genuinely think that they want to sack him because they're not moving like that, like a club that wants to sack him.
It doesn't feel like a sacking kind of feel, innit?
And my guy is too confident in his way that he's talking about. I'll see you in May. Like, you know what I mean? What are you going to do in the Champions League in May? We're not even in it, mate.
My man's like, I get you trying to mean. It's like he's got that kind of like confidence, arrogance, like, you know. And that, you know what it is, though? It's like the way he's saying it now is just becoming like Mourinho, man.
Honestly,
Mourinho.
Trophies. I want 2 trophies.
I don't like that, man. I
want 2 trophies.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, send the link to Tom.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, big up, Tom.
So big up the chat, man. We're here. You know what I mean? Biryani. No biryani here.
Biryani FC.
Biryani stocks have gone up, man.
The biryani Saeed, mate. Saeed. That's Saeed effect, mate, with the biryanis, man.
You cannot be relaxing this team. Listen, Aston Villa are a good team, man.
Aston Villa are a good team.
Unai Emery, you know what I'm saying? You know, Unai Emery's record against Ten Hag is not great.
It's
though,
not, to be fair, it's not.
It's not great.
It's not that
I think he's got 1 win. And I think that was the first game he played against United.
Yeah.
Remember his first, when Gerrard got sacked here in 2022 in December, that was his first game, and then I think they lost. So I think his record...
They beat us, to be fair. He beat us and he made his debut against us. Yeah. First game for Villa. And we got absolutely smashed. Remember that? Yeah.
Debut.
I'll never forget that they scored a free kick, some mad free kick, because when the goalkeeper was telling him where to put it, I think it was Locadini or something like that. Yeah. It's crazy.
So our record is not great. His record is not great, but boy.
I mean, we beat them at Old Trafford. To me, that was the best game of last season. We came back from 2-0 down.
2-0 down.
And beat them, but that was the
best. That was a good comeback.
That was a really good
comeback. I like that comeback, though.
Yeah. And then to be fair, we did a smash and grab on them. Last season at this ground here.
Oh,
McTominay last minute.
By the way, McTominay doing his thing in Napoli.
Yeah, big up
to him, man.
Yeah, big up to him, though. But that's football side. Listen, Ashley Young balled out in that league side, so let's not get giddy. Old granddad Ashley Young balled out and Inter Milan won a league out here. You know what I mean? Big up Timberland boots, though. Timberland boots, McTominay back together, baby. Reload.
That's crazy. That connection.
That link up.
That link up is different, man. But ultimately, like I said, bro, we need to do better. And it's the last game of Ten Hag. I believe it's the last game of Ten Hag. I've got this kind of feeling that it is the last game of Ten Hag, and he is going.
I genuinely, this is what I'm saying. This is the difference between me and you. I feel like, you know what? Sometimes I get that gut feeling, and I have my gut feelings wrong, and I hope that you and a lot of people are right. But I just feel like, I just like, there's something about the way he's moving. Like, he's being guaranteed or reassured.
Of course,
and even like when I read the articles that come out, you know what I mean? Like articles will come out and, you know, Laurie Watwells of the world and all these people. I just like the vibe, what the vibe is. But the most interesting, I talked about it on the channel side. Did you see the Benny McCarthy interview? He didn't just talk about passion. He said he doesn't feel like he can communicate with the have the team with him. He doesn't feel like he's got the team with him.
Big up Tom.
Yeah, big up Tom. Like, he's got the team with him, and I'm like, you know what? It's not about passion. It's about, for me, Erik ten Hag does not have the connection with the players.
No, he doesn't.
And you can see that clearly.
But look at Ruud van Nistelrooy. You know what I mean? Be a bit more passionate.
Yeah.
Has Erik got a yellow card ever on the touchline? Never has he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's just kind of a bit back, you know what I mean? And they don't, when the sun comes on nowadays, they don't translate on the football pitch.
Yeah. Big
You know
up.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, big up, Tom. Where are we? 00 Tom.
Big up.
Big up. Listen, let me know if you're. I'll send you the link, Jarvis. If you're not, no problem. But big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, man. Get this super chat quickly here. Big up Mohammed Hassan. Praying for United win.
Of course he would.
So Ten Hag stays Arsenal fan. That's what I'm saying to you. So, you know
Everyone,
the funniest
everyone.
thing. You know the funniest thing. There's so many polls done like on YouTube or no, sorry, on Twitter. I come across all these like percentages of United fan because it's the United like people like who are doing the polls, and I'm looking at it, it's like 40, 60, and I'm like, yo. And then I'm realizing it's all the Arsenal fans,
All the
Liverpool fans.
Why
like,
would you do a poll when
you know what I
just
mean?
know?
Like all the Spurs and Newcastle fans who are voting. So it is what it is. But Tom, where are we in the world? 00 Tom, international man of mystery. Where are we?
Big up. We're back at home. We're in Sheffield.
Big up Sheffield, man.
Big up Sheffield, man. It's the coldness started in the Seven Hills because look, today I got sun-kissed, man.
Yeah, today was quite nice.
Bro, sunshine, man.
Yeah,
Manchester.
Nice.
Yo, it felt like a July day. Honestly, it was really hot. Sunny, clear blue
sunny,
skies today, man. How are you doing, Thomas? Do you like that in Sheffield?
Yeah, it's been sunny here. Yeah, it's good weather. Shame that we're in fucking October, aren't we? So, but we didn't really have a summer, did we, guys? If we're being honest, but blame whatever you want, climate, the country, what fucking ever. Go abroad if you want to get some good weather. Do a Saeed, mate. I already know if Man United get embarrassed.
No, this is my little bro, mate. No problem.
Come on.
No problem.
Saeed, mate, you're making ad revenues from fucking views that you didn't even know you could make. What's this that I've heard about biryani or something? Somebody
biryani, man. Everyone's having a biryani tonight.
Yo, he's put it on the map. He's put it on the map.
Sent me videos there.
With the biryani.
Johnny's Johnny's.
Somebody said you've been clipped all over Twitter. I've never seen it. It's not popped up.
Yo, everybody's having a biryani because of Saeed, mate. Saeed's put biryani on the map, mate. You can't beat a good biryani, though.
That's what I'm saying.
To be fair, though, I like to go and get a nice biryani, but then have a little bit of curry sauce on top.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Yeah,
yo, I never want to hear from Peter Schmeichel, man. Peter Schmeichel is the biggest sellout of the fan base, mate.
Man.
Peter Schmeichel is the Glazers boy, mate. He's the Glazer. He's the Glazer guy, mate. That's what he is. But big up to you, though. Sheikh Karian. It's one of the best players. What is he watching? This is Tozy, isn't it?
Bloody hell.
What is he watching? This is the waffle, man. Honestly, Sheikh Karian, please don't ever get me any quotes from him. Peter Schmeichel. Peter Schmeichel said he wanted to go and retire from football and go somewhere else, and then he joined City. Then he captained them, and then he did what he did. And if you know, man. I fell out with Schmeichel when I saw him racially abuse Ian Wright, man.
Ian Wright, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was never that, mate. I was never about that, me personally. I'm like...
Yeah, we are 14th, by the way, now as well.
14th! Hey! Come at EFC! Here we go. Big up Craig Thomas Miller says, I'm not even watching tomorrow. I'm going to watch my local team play instead. It's over, man. Ruining my weekend. Smash a like. Yo, Craig. Yo, local team. You know what? Big up to your local team, bro.
Yeah.
Big up to your local team.
I think that's what everyone's doing, man. They're not
bothered. Big up to your local team.
There's a lot of people, honestly, that I meet here that I say, I don't watch it anymore.
Yeah. What's the point?
I just tuned into your reaction and that's it.
This is it. But let's get into it, people, genuinely. Tom, make a case for Eric Ten Hag to turn it, to do 360 degrees tomorrow, to put out a well-structured team, to go and get the win. And Manchester United, back in the day, Villa, innit? We used to be 2-0, 3-0, comfortable, right? Yeah. Is that what we're doing tomorrow?
Nah, mate. Nah. You know what's weird? Do you know what's weird though, right? When it was one of these ultimatum games, there were all these clips coming out when, pressers coming out before a game, before that FA Cup final, saying he was going to get the sack. You've got the exact same scenario here. It's almost like one game is going to save the geezer's job. I'm sorry, at the end of the day, if he hangs on after this game, shame on Ineos. That's all I'm going to say. Shame on you. Because you've bottled it one time. You've got 2 weeks where you've got an international break. You can go and look at managers and get somebody in. There's no excuse to say that you can't do it. You can do it. So if you're going to let this guy limp over the line again, you're going to get back from the international break with the fixtures, guys. We're losing tomorrow. When Porto can do that to you over there, and you're 2-0 up and you're not safe, mate, you are fucked. I'm telling you now. Their strike guys, he wasn't quick. He wasn't this mobile player. He was a standard target man player who was like 6'2", 6'3". He's just a standard target man. That's it.
Yeah.
And he fucking ran rings around us. What do you think Watkins is going to do tomorrow? What do you think that fucking Rodgers kid, mate? That Rodgers kid's been...
Rodgers, that's the one I'm thinking. Because he loves to get in the midfield spaces, in the little pockets. He loves running.
You know what? Do you know the thing that I'm already worried about, guys? When Elise did that to us last season and we lost 4-0 at Palace, mate. When he picked that ball up and ran through the midfield, I'm just getting PTSD of that with this Rodgers kid because he's very good. Low sense of gravity. You're very hard to get the ball off him unless you foul him. He's almost like their... I think he's almost kind of what they've missed with Jack Grealish ever since they sold him. That player who he buys them fouls. He's quite nifty on the ball. He can put the ball in the back of the net. He's quite creative player. But listen, man, if he at the end of the day, if they let him fucking limp over, I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't fucking stand this football. And the thing that we've always said, guys, is there's that one game where it turns the whole fan base toxic, and that one game has been 2 games ago when we played Spurs, mate. That's when this club turned fucking toxic on it again. Because the one thing that you can say, that you can always say about Eric Ten Hag was that Old Trafford crowd, in amongst what people thought, like on social media or on YouTube or whatever, when they give their opinions, that crowd was behind him, mate. They weren't fucking clapping him, applauding him off that pitch, mate. They weren't doing shit. They'd all fucking gone home, so there's nobody left to fucking clap. That's how bad you can see that it's got. But listen, Jim, I know we'll get onto about his little interview and everything and that, but the fact the guy says, I don't want to answer the question, and he proceeds to go on and answer the question, it just fucking sums it up, doesn't it, really? But, look, Ron Emery's not got a good record against Ten Hag, but at the end of the day, we all said that he was going to go after that FA Cup final. He pulled something out of the bag, and he saved his ass. At the end of the day, if he does that tomorrow, guys, win, lose, or draw, I still think he's got to go. Because you're delaying the inevitable. You'll come back after the fixtures, you'll play teams like Brentford, and you'll just get fucking turned over again. And then you'll look at it and think, well, we've wasted his time. Once a fucking game. But, listen, lads, what are you thinking about tomorrow? What we're saying?
You know what it is, though?
You think he'll get over the line, or...? I
just think for me, it's like... we don't need the game, we just need the result.
Right.
You know what it was? I want to skip to 2 o'clock.
That's it. Straight
so
now.
2 o'clock and 4:30. Now, generally, I want to skip to whenever the game finishes. I'm not bothered about the game tomorrow. I don't care if we get 3 points. Don't get 0 points. Don't get 1 point. I generally do not care about the game tomorrow. I want to know if this manager is being sacked or not. Because if he doesn't get sacked here, these lot, I swear down, man. I don't know. I'm not with them anymore.
They're not serious. They can't.
They're frauds, mate. They're frauds. They are frauds.
You've got all the experience. Yeah, you've got all the experience in the world with what Barada's done over at City. If this were happening at City, would they stand for it, guys? Seriously,
yeah, there you go.
They wouldn't. Other clubs wouldn't. And it's not even our club, guys. There's clubs that are scraping at the barrel at the bottom of the league, like Wolves and stuff. Wolves, though, if they're in shit, mate, they're going to get rid of Gary O'Neill, regardless. We are in survival, mate. We're fucking 13th.
14, Tom, 14. Breaking news.
We've gone fucking down one. Listen, the worst thing, guys.
We keep getting lower, mate. Tom, we keep getting lower and lower, mate. Lower.
The worst thing I'm going to say.
Meetings on Tuesday.
If you get, if Saeed now went on Google and he searched up the Premier League table, right? When it comes up, you have to scroll down to see us. That's how shit we are. You have to scroll down the fucking league table to find where big old Man United are. It's shocking.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think that he's got any chance of keeping his job, even if he doesn't lose tomorrow? Though.
Yeah.
If he doesn't lose, let's say if he gets a draw or he wins. What we're saying.
Yeah. No, if he wins, that's what I'm saying. I don't get why we're letting one game dictate. Why are we allowing one game to dictate the future?
That's what. But how can you hire a manager, hire a player, or sack a manager in 2 games or 3 games? Listen, coach is either right guy to go forward with or is the wrong guy. Because now there's no excuses, Tom. Because it's not Barada and bloody, you know what I mean? Like all these bankers who are there now. now there's it's not just Barada, but there's Wilcox, there's Ashworth.
Yeah, Ashworth.
So they'll be able to see like how he's communicating on the training ground. So this meeting on Tuesday, I mean, it's just typical, innit? Typical Manchester United.
It is PR though. It's just kind of like, you know.
Honestly, I just look at it, every way I look at it, I think, listen, you know that when Benny McCarthy's saying this guy doesn't inspire, that's the word he used, inspire and connect with players, then I don't know what else do you need then?
Yeah, it's true.
What else do you need then? And people are like, you know, people who are like a bit old school go, well, they're getting paid all that money. But it doesn't work like that. Human beings work off connections, energy. And if you got somebody who's a leader or your coach, you want to be able to go into battle for him. So the idea for me, that's quite damning. And I asked the question to Saeed first and then Tom, what did their strategic review find when they were going to get rid of him? What did they find and why did they go back on it? Why? Because people wrote letters to them. Because he fluked the final.
Wrote letters. But what, you know what is funny? Yeah? When he did that interview yesterday or the day before, whatever, that it was like as if to say, you know what, man, it's not in the hands of me, etc., etc. You know, it's not down to me.
That's
like,
bullshit.
Bro, like, come on, man. Let's stop doing this, man. Stop doing this, man. There's a couple of super chats here. McCarthy says a manager must come now and get a head start. And I think Ben's come here and said, Bruno, big up Nora, Saeed and Tom, Free Palestine, not watching the game tomorrow. Instead, I'm watching Celtic game. I'm going to cinema.
Yeah, big up, man.
Enjoy the cinema, man.
Enjoy up the Irish, by the way. Big up, Ben. Up the Irish. Up the Celtic, man. And you know what? It's an anniversary since the genocide, isn't it? It's been a year of genocide. And we did it throughout Britain today and all over the world. There's massive like solidarity with Palestine and Lebanon and what the Zionists are doing. And big up to the Celtic fans who were getting beat by police in Germany when they were at Dortmund. Regardless of the result, they had the Palestinian flags and the police would try to grab it and take it off them. So big up to the Celtic, man. Honestly, Celtic fans, legends. I promise you, me and Saeed, we're going to come and go to the hardcore end, man. So big up the Celtic, People, listen, it's nearly 500 of you in here. Please smash a like. We're not even on 200 likes. Can we get to 250 likes quickly?
250 likes ASAP.
But, yeah, Tom. So to me, this idea, and I asked you the same question as I asked Saeed. This idea of these guys, like, they're not Ashworth. Sorry, they're not like what's the other guy? Murta and the other banker. So what are they waiting for? Why did they go back on their strategic review? Their strategic review came up with a thing that Benny McCarthy don't need to be here, that the Van der Dijk guy don't need to be here, that all of them are going to go, but they relate on Ten Hag. Why? And why are they surprised we started a season like this?
Bro, I don't, but the thing is, it's like, you know, nothing's changed, nothing's like, you know, improved, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? It's just been the same. Like, you could say it's got worse, but I don't think it's got worse. It's just been the same. Like, we've been smacked up again.
It's been the same, but there's no excuses now. They can't hide that. Last season, do you know something, guys? I think what factored into this review was a couple of things. I genuinely do think they looked at the injuries and thought, okay, there's a case to make for there. He's not had a proper starting 11 for most of that season. Okay, we'd all agree on that, would we not? That there was major injuries that season. Yeah. When you get to the point of now, they get to the final, they then look at the way that he set up in that game against the best team in the world, and they saw that with their own eyes. They saw 2 weeks before what they saw at Coventry, and then the following 2 weeks they saw that game where he got a massive reaction out of those players to then win that final.
Yeah.
I think they looked at that and they took that into consideration to say he's got a reaction out of the squad, even on a game that means so much to these fans and spectators that are around us. And it's their first trophy at the club, and they've only been there a couple of months. They looked at that. I also then look at the bigger picture of it, and I think they didn't look at this guy with full confidence, because if they looked at this guy with full confidence after that final, maybe like a week or two after, guys, they would have made this announcement about this strategic review has ended. We're giving Erik ten Hag an extension on his contract, or we're renewing his deal, or whatever. They didn't do that. They waited 2 months after that game. They waited about 8 weeks after the final to then actually give him an extension. But in that conjunction of that period from the final and that 8 weeks, they met apparently with loads of different agents and managers. The most prominent one, they flew him and his agent out to Monaco to meet Jim, Dave, the fucking lot of them in Monaco, which was Thomas Tuchel. Clearly, there wasn't an agreement on certain things between the two of them, and that's where they left it. The difference is they went to that guy. They went to the lengths of flying the guy out on a private jet to go and meet them. They didn't do that with Erik ten Hag when they knew that they couldn't find anybody else because they've been burnt by the guy that they really wanted, which was Tuchel, regardless of our opinions or not. That's the guy that they wanted. You don't go to them lengths if you don't mean to do something with it. So at the end of the day, they've then panicked and just reverted back to Erik ten Hag and said, okay, Eric, we're going to give you a go. And then that's why I think from those discussions, Eric's almost in the hot seat of saying, well, I still want an element of control over this summer window. And that's where I think you've got players like Mazraoui, De Ligt come through the door, players that he still knows. I don't think the policy changed. I just think Ten Hag regained the control that he had before. Because as much as, like Jim says, and I believe what he said, Omar and Dan Ashworth and that, to be honest with you, I don't really think they influenced this window much, guys. I don't. Because they weren't in situ. They couldn't put their feet under the table and properly analyse players around Europe. It's like they've just come into the job with no sort of time to actually put anything in place that they want to. The difference is, whoever the manager is, I still think Mazraoui is going to be a good player for this football club for years to come. Regardless of who the manager is, I know there's a player in De Ligt. I saw it in Ajax. There's a player you can get out there. You need a coach to get it out of him. I've seen a good player in Ugarte in Portugal. I've seen a coach that I personally want in Amorim get the best out of him over in fucking Portugal. I've seen it be done, guys. And I don't look at our squad and think there's a bunch of lost causes. Listen, Rashford, the only manager that ever got something out of Rashford from what I looked at, guys, was Louis van Gaal. He actually got something out of him because he had to. He had nobody else to work with. At the end of the day, let's be clear on the whole thing. Ineos had the decision to do and to make. They bottled the decision because of the fan reaction of it.
Yeah.
But now, if you got these fans, the fans that put those votes in and these letters to the fucking board and to Ineos, if you put that same letter to them now and return that back to them and say, well, what do you think now after 6 games? I think they'll fucking rip it up in front of your face. At the end of the day, the fan base cannot dictate how our football club is run. And I'm going to say this last point, right? Fan channels and people who run these fucking big fan groups and organisations, right? Let the football people at your football club make the decisions, not fucking you. And at the end of the day, Ineos, Jim, is not this caring, loving person that people all think, guys. He blows people out of there. He blew power station workers out in this country. He put them out of...
He's not used to not sacking managers.
He put people out of jobs at the busiest time of the year at fucking Christmas.
I know.
This guy, he lost 30,000 people their jobs at power stations in this country about 15 years ago. Wow. Do you really think this guy's going to be worried about sacking one fucking manager at a club? And the point that he made that it's not my decision. He is on an advisory board which makes and signs off on all key decisions at this club with his right-hand man, Sir Dave Brailsford, and Joel Glazer. Do you honestly think Joel Glazer gives a shit about if he makes a decision on this manager or not? Probably not. And if I'm being honest with you, if I'm Joel Glazer, he's probably going to say, yeah, get rid of Erik ten Hag because we're not going to get top 4. That's all the Glazer family care about. That's their interest, is top 4. So then he's not going to back Erik ten Hag. Dave might have this relationship and connection with him because he's a performance guy and Erik ten Hag's very tactical on game structure and management and he wants to get the best out of performance, but it's just not working.
Listen, he can't do it. That's the most basic thing, and he can't do it. Manchester United, I told people last season, Saeed, it has zero to do with injuries. We were like that because it had nothing to do with injuries, and it's just the way he wants to play. And we saw it again against Porto, one of the poorest Porto teams, Saeed. They sell majority of their players in the summer. We had 17-year-olds making their debuts against Manchester United. Let me just grab some of these super chats. So big up. Big up 256 says, a manager must come now and get their head start. Tuchel, no. Tuchel needs to stay away, man. Nordin, for watching the game too. Said yeah, so I got that one. Big up,
Ben, yeah.
Big up Big Ben. Said my brother sat in love. Yeah, love, man. Appreciate you. Ben back, and he's saying now, bring me that Stuttgart coach next Ineos. His style of play is so entertaining, especially in possession. Off and the ball, on and off the ball. He plays so compact. Yeah.
Do you know
the guy. I mean, he's Honus is like one of his dad, I'm sure, we used to play for Bayern Munich.
Guys, even with
one second, Tom. Bit of a breaking news.
That Ten Hag's kind of like it's kind of he goes to a newspaper that he leaks to, innit?
Of course, the mirror. The mirror.
There's some tension between Erik Ten Hag and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Speculation grows that the former Man United striker was recruited by Ineos in the summer because he would be a safe pair of hands should a change of manager be required. So we kind of knew that, innit? So basically, people were saying that it was Ten Hag that called him, but really and truly, let's be honest, man, it's Ineos in it that called him. Yeah. So you can tell Ten Hag's got his briefs out tonight. Got his brief.
Wow, the mirror. He's getting it in there before anybody else.
Yeah, basically saying that it was always I was always going to fail here. Basically, that's what his argument's going to be.
Nah, listen, this is scare tactics, man. Big up to Selective, but this Southgate Harry Potter business is scare tactics, man. Nobody's here for that. If they sign Southgate Harry Potter, I promise you, 60-70% of the fan base will be them out before they even get the job.
Yeah.
You won't be seeing no banners, manager, all of that. You won't be, unless they're like Jim's lot and they pay for them. But people, there's over 500 of you in here. Channel is shadow banned. Please subscribe to the channel. We talk about humanity. We talk about oppression. We don't give a damn. The personal is politics. The idea of politics is something separate. That's why the Zionists are doing what they're doing, because they brainwash people to tell them, oh, you can't talk about politics. We're talking about our lives, people. The humanity and the souls of humans. Just because they happen to be Muslim, just because they happen to be black, or they happen to be brown, or they happen to be like, you know what I mean? Like people who are not aligned with a Zionist agenda in this world. So smash a like. And remember, people, differentiate. Judaism and Zionism have nothing to do with each other. In today's march, there's hundreds of Jewish people marching with us against the genocide. The state of Israel does not represent Jewish people and Jewish religion as a whole. It does not represent them. So please remember that there are Muslim Zionists, millions of Muslim Zionists or Muslim Zionist leaders, and there are millions of Christian Zionists. So just remember that, people. No bigotry, love for everybody, but we want peace, but most importantly, justice and liberation. Always justice and liberation. But yeah, Harry comes out. What he's talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
There's what we're talking about.
His leaks in now, man.
Yeah.
And it always happens before, the evening before a kickoff. He always gets this out.
The FA Cup final. We heard this. We heard this before the FA Cup.
Look.
Why does he always? Because the mirror is being used in it. The mirror is the thing which has been really favorable to him. And a lot of the things, if you want to understand what Erik Ten Hag's thinking about certain things, the Mirror newspaper has been, and this guy has always been linked with this guy, this Mullock guy. Yeah. If you wanted to hear stories and to hear that, boy, oh boy, it must be something cooking up. But yeah, people were asking why was asking, what's the meeting? Yeah, there's a meeting taking place in London offices on Tuesday, and it's between all the stakeholders at Manchester United. So Joe Glazer's supposed to be there. All of the new structures there, and Jim the Rat is there as well. So they're all meeting. So we'll see what happens. But big up Jarvis for joining us. Jarvis, I'll ask you the same question. Can Erik Ten Hag do a 360? Can Manchester United win 3-0 comfortably tomorrow and put the performance of a season in? Can he have a defining performance?
Is that the task?
That's the task tomorrow.
Is that the task at hand?
Is that happening?
Doing a 360.
360 and then putting 3-0 past Villa and putting a defining performance.
Well, then we're asking for the impossible, because that won't happen. We all know that. But could he win tomorrow? Yeah, sure. Ten Hag has Unai Emery's number. You know, he did him twice last season, and I think he knows how to set up against Unai Emery's tactics. So there is a chance. Of course, there's always a chance. I don't know what to do with these type of players. I'm very excited to see if Rashford starts tomorrow or not, because he was taken off at halftime. He was obviously not following the tactics, tracking back, doing his job defensively. So it will be interesting to see if we have a fallout now with Ten Hag and Rashford. Maybe Rashford didn't give a fuck and just thought, okay, I'll do it my way, and Ten Hag didn't take kindly to it and put him on the bench after 45 minutes. I don't know, but that's very interesting tomorrow. But I think we can win it. Yeah, we have good players. It's about how to put up the team, set up the team, what selection Ten Hag chooses, and I hope that we don't set up in the 4-2-4 or 4-4-2 thing we have been doing lately, because it doesn't work. I would like us to go with the double pivot. And stay compact, have wingers who works defensively. I hope Bruno starts on the bench, because Bruno, he's not been good lately. I would like to see Eriksen in the 10. I would like to see Ugarte and most likely Casemiro play in the double pivot. I think that will give us some defensive stability. And yeah, maybe it's time to bench Martinez Licha, because he's not been great lately, and give Harry Maguire a go, because I think we need to rest some of our so-called key players, because they're not putting up a good effort and a good performance lately. But yeah, if you ask me, I think we can win it. I believe in this club. I believe in Man United, and I always hope we win.
Imagine being Maguire though, man. Like, just when you think always you're down and out, you always find a way to get back in the squad. Like, that's why he always stays, guys. Like, he just knows, like, he's always got a chance of being in the squad.
Because this chaotic team is not proper set up in it. It's not proper structured. They're not playing well. So, of course, he's going to make changes and then do what he's doing. But for me, the idea that, yeah, you have to teach the players. This is the difference, disagreement between me and Jarvis, is that I actually think the best coaches leave nothing, the amount of detail, to chance. And if the player's not doing what he's supposed to be doing on a football pitch, then they come off. I don't wait for half-time, me. I bring you off and show the whole world you're not doing something. And I just don't see that from Erik ten Hag. And for me, not more than anything, what he said, what Ben McCarthy said about the connection with the players. And Manchester United, you need to have a coach and a manager that you go to battle for, that you go to the end to go to war with, because we have to be besieged. And Fergie, none more than anybody, Fergie developed that. And we used to have that with Busby as well. People forget that. We had it with Busby.
Correct.
Do you know that the FA and the English football and the English sport did not want Manchester United playing in European Cups?
Wow.
Majority of people don't know this story yet. Hey, get the duvet covers on, cuddle up, get that hot chocolate cocoa ready. It's Uncle Dino time. It is Mr. Structure story time. So this is what happened, yeah? Manchester United wanted to play in Europe to test themselves against the best in Europe, right? In the early 50s, right? This after the war, obviously, the Football Association in Europe was a lot of different nations were all recovering from Second World War. The French set up the European Cup. And then Manchester United were asked to go and play because we had a very talented young team, right? The Busby Babes. They said, the FA were like, no, we invented football. We're the best at football. We don't want to be playing against the French. And there was still that xenophobic thing still going on, right? Because it's after the war. And the English FA told United, you have to come back 2 days before your game, or else you could be dropped points. That's why the plane took off so many times in Munich to get back to this country. So because of the snow, for me, I partly put that down to the Busby Babes, to the FA, because the way they were putting pressure, and obviously they wanted to go for the league and go for Europe as well.
Course,
so they told them you have to come back.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're playing if I'm not mistaken, we're playing in Serbia. What's Serbia now? It used to be old Czechoslovakia. And so they went to Munich to refuel. And then that's where the plane crashed, because the pilot took off 3 times, and on the 3rd time, that's when the plane crashed. So they didn't. They could have stayed over, waiting for the snow to clear, but they were scared of being found and that dropping points in the league. That tells you everything you need to know about the British. So Fergie, Busby, they all understood they needed to create a siege And you
Yes,
can't
yeah,
come to
yeah.
Manchester United and have your players not die for you on the pitch, man. For me, I can't see him coming back from that. And then I can't see the way it structurally sets up the team coming back from that. But it's interesting. I'll go to you now, Saeed. How are you setting up tomorrow? Are you going similar to what
I
Java said?
swear down, bro. I think anything we do is just it's a car crash. I just play the regular players. Like I think Casemiro's got to start. I think maybe play Eriksen the 10 and then put Ugarte maybe double pivot. I'd do that and be a bit more cautious. And yeah, Maguire definitely, like Jarvis said, Maguire 100% because he needs that. But bro, Dallo looks like he's tired as well. Can't really rest him, can we? But yeah, I think for me overall, I don't know if it's just the team, it's just the whole setup. I think for me, it's like
Have you checked? Saeed, be honest. Have you checked out? Are you just waiting for the inevitable? You checked out, aren't you? It's just too many poor games, isn't it?
Too many poor games. It's too much, man. That's why for me, like nobody's really bothered about tomorrow. Yeah, cool. Everyone wants to get 3 points here, but I genuinely believe more people are just concerned about what's happening after because at the end of the day, it's international break. Had there been a couple of more games, guys, I would have said, you know what? You've got to wait until them games are over. But you've got to understand that, you know, it's one of them where there's literally this is the last game. So it's going to be speculation after speculation after speculation. Guys, that's the reality. Speculation FC. You know,
it's to me.
So
it just teams. But if you had to pick a team, what team would you go for? Would you go for Ugarte and Casemiro?
The back five, I would get out Maguire, put in Lisandro, keep the back five pretty much the same after that. Ugarte, Casemiro, Eriksen, Rashford, Xerxes, and Ahmad.
Tom, can you better that? What do you think about that team? To me, aspect of it seems like pointless to me because I'm like, structurally, they're not going to be set up. The gaps are going to appear. Whether it's Ugarte and Casemiro, they're going to be pressing upwards up the pitch. Then our defense is going to be a lot of pressure. People can talk about how badly Lisandro's defended, but where's the fucking protection, Tom?
No protection.
Where is it? And every centre half, they have to have, not all protection. There are times where centre halves have to defend the one-on-ones and have to be competent enough, yeah? But they can't be open every time defenders running at them. But go ahead, Tom. What team are you putting up?
It's true.
Guys, honestly, you're allergic to smashing a like on the video. You are being allergic. Like the video. We're not even on 250 likes, honestly. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Are they shadow banned the like button as well? Is that what they've done? Because they shadow banned the channel. But go ahead, Tom.
No, well, at the end of the day, Onana, I think, is going to start, regardless of what we say anyway, and that. Personally, you're going to have to play Dillo. We haven't got a left back, so we're fucked in that regard. He doesn't want to play there. He doesn't like playing there. And if we want to face facts, guys, apart from inverting and going forward, he's not good at left back. He can't defend that side. He's not naturally suited to play that way. He's never played that way for his whole career, so he's not suddenly going to be an expert when you just chuck him in there at the deep end. Dillett and Martinez, I'm going to be very critical here. One of them has got to go out of this team. I don't care who it is, just one of them's got to go out of this team. The last 2 games that I've seen them play against Spurs and Porto, they've been shocking together, personally. Regardless of if there's protection in front of them or not, on the ball, they've given the ball away far too much in games. In pressured, when they're getting pressured on the ball, they just hot potato. They don't know what they're doing with it. Even controlling it. Maguire, for me, I think just has to come into this team for one of them. And if we're being honest, guys, it doesn't really make a difference who you put him in front of. Because Martinez, in the same way of it, guys, I just don't think he's the same player that he was after those injuries. I don't know why. I just get a weird sort of feeling from him. I like him as a player. I think working maybe with a new coach and a new manager with new ideas, you might even see a better version than what we actually bought initially. But yeah, Maguire's got to come in for one of the two of them. Anybody can pick it. Somebody in the chat pick it for me. I'm not asked, but Maguire's got to come into this team and start ahead of one of them. Mazraoui's going to play it right back, so we can get that out of the way. If I'm picking it for me, I do want Manchester United to win this game. I'm not this fucking negative and negative press that fans get just because we're in a shit moment and because we're saying things that maybe aren't popular to everybody. I still want my football club to win. Of course I do. And if I
Of
want
course,
them
we
to
all
win,
do.
I gave
all
this
do, we all do.
manager a winning formula. He had a winning formula when we beat Barnsley. We played Ericsson, Ugarte, and Casemiro. It was balanced. There wasn't a hole in midfield, and I know it's the level of the opposition that we're playing against, guys. You can only play what's in front of you. Why he's not stuck with something that's just worked, I don't fucking know. Honestly, all I'm going to say is I'd play Ugarte and Casemiro. Get Fernandes out of this fucking team, please.
Tom,
For your own sake.
Fernandes got a message for you. He's got a message for you.
Come on, let's hear it. Let's hear this message. Come on.
This is what he's saying, yeah? Bruno's saying this. Look. Tough moment as team and personally for me, it's been the hardest almost 5 years at this club, ups and downs, good and bad moments. Yeah, you hit me with that. That's what he starts talking about. But then he says about, I know the fans don't want to hear this. So why are you telling us bullshit then? Like, it's crazy. Let me just get this super chat. If we win 3-0, I'll gift 500 memberships while wearing a Liverpool shoe, singing Ten Hag at the wheel.
No way.
That is not happening, bro. That is not happening.
Can't even get one goal, man.
Honestly.
We can't keep any fucking clean sheets. Anyway. Never mind scoring, lads.
Yeah,
we could be 2-0 up.
But yeah, listen. Let me finish the team that I said anyway. Ugarte, Casemiro, and Ericsson's the midfield. I'd do. I'd play Rashford, Ahmad, and Højlund through the middle. Personally, I'd just put Casemiro and Maguire in this team and make the changes for the players that played midweek. That's all that I can do. Wow. Experience, just play an experienced team. That's all they can do, guys. It worked for 20 minutes against Porto when he fucked it. But at the end of the day, if you go a goal up at Villa, mate, I'm sorry, they have got a team that will just rinse you to shit. They can score goals and keep them out. We can't do neither of those two fucking things. That's why a lot of people are writing us off in this game. But look, at the end of the day, regardless of the result or not, it's just going to prolong the fucking inevitable for another 2 weeks if he wins.
No word of a lie here. I get loads of, me, like in Manchester, Saeed will tell you, innit? I know a lot of United fans here of all different ages. Like, and every time I'm out and about in Manchester, especially on the sunny days, everybody's looking at me and going, why are they making us suffer? What's going on? And this is people who were like staunch Erik ten Hag inners. Like, even his fan base, the people that genuinely were supporting Erik ten Hag, have lost, and they were like, these were the people who could have been like writing letters. They're like, nah, I just don't. They're like, because all the time when I see them out and about, we would argue, and I tell them it's structural because he proved it to us in the last 4 or 5 games of the season that the team was more compact. So at the end of the day, I just honestly, for me, I'm just like, at this moment in time, it feels like even the way he's talking. But I did tell Saeed, and I'll tell you, Tom and Jarvis, I don't think he's going to get the sack. But then I'm like, why are they leaking this meeting then? Why are they leaking the meeting?
Literally like that meeting there is signaling the end for me. You don't have a meeting for no reason.
Why do you need to?
Is there for a reason.
The thing I don't get, guys, is why the need to release this out to the media. I don't fucking get it.
That's what I'm saying.
One of the points that Jim made when he come into this club was, we're going to keep things in house.
Yeah,
it's leaking more than it ever fucking has.
Yeah.
Before you used to get all these right, and let's face facts, guys. With the Glazers, with the Glazer family, when they made decisions at this club on managers before, right, there wasn't any of this dubious speculation in the background. It was when it got to the final game where you just got peppered by a team, like what happened at Watford, like what happened at Liverpool with Mourinho, and what happened with Watford with Solskjaer. When it gets to that one game, that's it. They just throw the towel in. These players have thrown the towel in on the guy that they believe in, or supposedly believe in, when they work to other clubs. I think some of these players still think they play for his team at Ajax over in the fucking Eredivisie. You're at Manchester United. There's a bigger expectation and a bigger fucking standard. And at the end of the day, with Fernandes, right, when your club captain, and this is what makes it worse, guys, that club captain status, when your club captain gets sent off in back-to-back games, he's lost his head and something's gone wrong. Regardless of it, if the red card's been rescinded or anything, did he get sent off? Was it in the heat of the moment? Yes, it was. He doesn't think, and I've said that story before about when Ollie's last game in that 4-1 defeat, Ollie at half-time, Harry Maguire put the armband down on his stool and he said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be the captain. Ollie
Yeah, I
picked it up
remember,
and said to that whole dressing room, who wants this? Who wants to be the leader now? Bruno Fernandes was in that dressing room on the bench and he said, fuck all. That's the guy who leads your club right now. So when the going got tough, he didn't want to know. The going's getting tough now, guys. He doesn't know what the fucking hell to do. But people want to sit here and tell me he's the perfect captain for this club. Fuck it. If you can't create a captain in your club, you go out there and you buy one. It's as simple as that.
Simple.
Not everybody has a kid come through the academy that leads their club, like Steven Gerrard did, or Scholes, or whoever fucking does at your club. Not everybody has that player. So if you can't get it, City haven't got a kid come through their ranks who's been their academy kid, and then he's their captain for like 10 years. That doesn't happen anymore, guys. You have to buy them. You have to buy your leaders from other football clubs. And that's just the bottom story of it. If you can't create one in-house, go and fucking buy one.
But listen, they don't want to buy. To me, I look at it, I think, I'm not whatever lie. There's a belief that, Jarvis, you build an environment to create leaders. You build a very strong and authentic environment to be able to build leaders. So leaders have examples to follow, right?
Mm.
We haven't got anything conducive. Like, we don't have that environment. We don't have it. And at the end of the day, it's so funny because all I'm seeing is like Ineos are repeating what Manchester United used to do back in the day, where players are coming out on Insta. I mean, we drew when we even drew with Palace players coming out and that. I'm like, I don't want to hear from you. Listen, show me on the football pitch and we'll do the talking for you. We will gas you up. We will do all the talking. That's always, football has always been. The footballers do their talking on the football pitch. The fans are the ones who get excited, right?
Correct.
So this is the bit I don't understand, where they're all finding IG now, doing this, doing that.
It's
like
all image and it's all brand.
Like, it's the same thing. So they're building a brand as well.
Yeah.
They're building a brand. And just to confirm again, this is what's been happening, right? And then this is the guy that usually the mouthpiece.
He's
briefing.
briefing for Ten Hag.
Yeah, it would be a safe Perez to change of managers required. So it's required. This is what I'm saying to you. It's crazy. But Jarvis, tomorrow, give me your score, because we've got a couple other things to move on to. What's the score tomorrow?
Well, first of all, I will show you guys. I mentioned some of my lineup, but this is how I would actually like us to line up tomorrow. Let me just bring it to the screen. Oh, sorry. So this is how I would like Onana, and I would actually put Mazraoui on left back, because I think Dalot has been terrible at left back. And I would like Mazraoui. If we need someone to invert, it would be him, because he's more of a midfielder than Dalot. I would keep Dalot in the defense in the back three. And I think Casemiro and Eriksen and Ugarte will interchange a little bit. It depends. Sometimes they will. Some of them will move up, and Mazraoui inverting will create space in front of Mazraoui for example, Eriksen to drift into to do his thing. I think Garnacho is much better tracking back than Rashford. He's not excellent, but he's better.
And to be fair, he's the one that's got more goals against Villa out of the front line than anybody else.
Yeah. And Ahmad, of course, to start, and I would like Højlund to start, not Xerxes. I think Xerxes looks a little bit slow, and we know that Aston Villa will leave a high back line and a lot of space to run into. So I think Højlund would be better in this game. So if Ten Hag has any sense, this is the team that he will pick. But we know he will pick Bruno, he will pick Rashford, he will play his usual 4-2-4 formation and get fucked. So that's just the way it is. Sorry for my language.
Facts. Listen, at the end of the day, for me, it's not even who's on the football pitch. Do they have a game plan? Are they structurally proficient? Are they playing compact football? Are they moving up as a team? Whether they go in high press, does everybody go together? Do they narrow the spaces between players? Do we have like 30 yards apart, or do we have like 10 yards apart? Do we squeeze up? Do they know the pressing triggers? Have you coached the players on where to go, where to not to go when they got the ball? To me, these things, and the evidence is out from last season. He can do it. And this is the biggest thing. I always think, genuinely, because I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm thinking, does he just want to get paid? And he's like peed off with Ineos because they said, they made him wait for weeks and weeks. Yeah, is he just doing it? Is he sabotaging himself just to get that money? Like, what is he doing?
But it's 15 million, isn't it? So it's a lot of money.
Guy's a multi-millionaire. Guys, what are we talking about? He's a multi-millionaire outside.
He's already, to be fair, he's got a lot of money.
His brother's a millionaire.
No, his family are in the north.
He's inherited a lot of money.
Yeah. He's a millionaire already.
His family's worth like $50 million, I think, on their own. If you exchange it from what they own as assets, but it's crazy.
Tom, quickly, are we gonna win tomorrow?
Oh fuck no! Absolutely fuck no.
What do you think? To me, if I got a performance tomorrow and we didn't even win the game, I can at least something to talk about. But I'm not even sure of that performance. No. They're going to play the high line. Actually, they dropped a little bit. You see, tactically, what Unai Emery did, he dropped the line against Bayern Munich a little bit more. So other than them going to the halfway line, they actually dropped a little bit deeper. And they were more tighter to each other. So it's going to be very interesting. So we're not going to win tomorrow. Tom thinks we're not going to win. Saeed?
No, 3-1 we're losing.
I think
at least we're scoring.
I'm saying 3-0.
Sorry?
Java said at least we're scoring.
I'm saying 3-0, lads.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a couple of injuries. So Unana was really playing injured. He was feeling the back of his hamstring or something at the back of his leg. And then who else was injured? Somebody else, I think, got injured as well. Yeah. Big up Alien Thunder Rings. We're getting smashed 16. Listen, emotionally, they're not used to playing Champions League and then playing league like big games back to back. Yeah. So emotionally, they could be drained because that night was a big night for them, by the way, because they've not played Champions League games since 1982 or 81, whenever last time they won 82 when they won the European Cup.
But then again, they want to leave on a high.
But this is what I'm saying to you. So, I mean, I know that in the last 2 days, other than recovery, Unai Emery has been onto them to say, listen, as a team, can we take that next step? Can we do back-to-back performances and wins? And the fans are going to be out tomorrow. I mean, Villa Park, honestly, Jarvis will tell you, Saeed, Tom will tell you, Villa Park used to be there. Whether it was FA Cup semi-finals, whether we were always going to play Villa. I remember some of the most spectacular goals. I remember Scholes scoring like from 40 yards out. On and off the bar.
He passed it.
On and off the bar. Like he smashed it. And he had a goalkeeper who used to wear like long johns. My guy used to have the long tracksuit. Yeah, Hungarian goalkeeper, man. Shout out. I forgot his name, but somebody will let us know in the chat.
For Palace as well.
Yeah, people, listen, there's over 600 even, not even on 300 likes. What does that tell you? But I just want to quickly go ahead, Jarvis. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a question for you guys. If you were Unai Emery, how would you set up your team against Ten Hag?
I think do the same what you're doing. I think if they play the same way as they do against Bayern, they should win this game. I don't think you do anything differently, because Ten Hag doesn't give you something to worry about. If Ten Hag gave you something to worry about, I'd say change it around. But I don't generally think for me you could be worried about.
Give us the ball.
Yeah, you don't worry about United, what they're doing.
No,
that's what Ten Hag does. Ten Hag worries about what they're doing. That's why he took Rashford off.
For me, Rashford, because defensively he wasn't doing that. 2 of the goals could have been his fault. But to me, the responsibility is, why have you not coached Rashford the right way to defend? Like, he's not a young player. You communicate with him, say, this is what you do. This is how you do it. But then to me, the idea of taking Rashford off when Bruno Headless Chicken is doing what he's doing as well. I just don't.
It's crazy. At the end of the day, when you balance it out with Emery, the only problem that he has them flooring that style is because they always used to set on the halfway line. They dropped that line, like Saeed said and Jarvis has said. They dropped the line by like 10 yards back to their own box, so that the back four wasn't on the halfway line. There was just probably in between where the quarter of that circle finishes around the whole centre circle of the pitch. There was just in the middle of that quarter and that quadrant. When you play against Manchester United, when you give us the ball, it depends what day you find us on. Some days we can play out from the back, some days we can't. Because the pressure's on these players so much in this game to win, and Ten Hag's going to put the pressure on these players to win if his job depends on this game. If you give us the ball, you are going to be absolutely shitting yourself if you make a mistake or an error. because you don't want to be the guy that made the error that got the guy sacked. That's what it's going to be with a lot of these players. And a lot of these players have respect for this guy because they've worked with him at another club. So they understand that one mistake and one wrong pass or whatever, you fuck the guy's career probably, and definitely his future at this football club. And a lot of them, regardless of what fan opinion is, guy, a lot of these players probably love him and they do have that affection towards him because they've won things with this guy at another club and they've been on a journey with him at another club. They've brought that journey to Man United and it's just not the same feeling because the standards are completely different than at Ajax to Man United. But if he plays the same way, if Unai Emery plays like Said, if Unai Emery plays the way he did against Bayern, all he has to do is give Man United the ball and say, come break us down.
Yeah.
Counter-attack on you, and we're fucked, mate. See you later. John Duran,
No,
mate,
100%.
he'll be lobbing Onana from fucking halfway line.
No, 100%, Tom. The biggest thing for me is that set the traps in midfield for Manchester United, suck them into their last third, and then the spaces will appear. You will have absolutely freedom to freedom to, like literally the pitch. You can put like how many circles? Honestly, people are talking about Manchester. There are more space in Manchester United every time we play than there is in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are like saying it. So for me, it's about the spaces behind the midfield because this manager refuses to play. So there'll be gaps where they appear where, just like Liverpool, just set the traps for us and then boom, boom, boom. Same as Spurs. Set the traps, win the ball back, and then go straight directly to goal. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah. I just wanted to say I've seen a lot of things happening this season. We saw in the beginning last season there was a big gap in the central of the midfield around here for every team to exploit. But this season, when we go in the 4-4-2-4 or 4-4-2, I actually seen more that the space is here behind the winger, and this is the place where the opposition exploit us. Also, when we invert with the fullback, Dallo also has to run back because the space here always gets too big. So this is an area where Ten Hag needs to focus and find a way.
But Jarvis, I'm not going to lie to you. But Jarvis, I'm not going to lie to you. Against Spurs, right?
Yeah.
Against Spurs, in the second half, both Ugarte and Casemiro, so take them up. Ugarte and Casemiro, they were super high up, right?
Yeah.
Super high up. And then actually drop Ugarte down a little bit. Take Casemiro towards the left back, right? Right? Drop it. Take him up where next to Højlund, right?
Yeah.
Ugarte, take him past the halfway line on the other side, outside of the circle. Up the other way. There, he was there. Then Ugarte, the Spurs player, right? Literally, you know where the Eriksen is now? Is, right? Had the ball, and then, Kulikevsky was just here in the center circle, right on the dot.
Wow.
And then he kept running, and Maddison is with him as well. And they kept running, and they kept getting Werner in. And I'm like, are you taking the fucking piss?
The traps. The set traps.
Are you taking the piss? Like, the gap between Casemiro and Ugarte was 30 yards. The gap between Ugarte, who was chasing the player on the ball, between our defense was 40 yards.
Yeah.
You can't have that. I'm sorry. Like Erik Ten Hag structurally, and I kept telling everybody, when everybody kept telling me it's because of injuries, because I saw it. We still had injuries towards the end of the season. But what did he do? I kept coming back and telling everybody, play more compact.
But if he had that intent,
in football, it's about creating
this is what
space.
we would have done. We should have played the 4-3-3 actually, and then defend in a 4-5-1. That would be much better. We would be compact. We would have control in all of this area because that will be 5 or 6 players all the time defending, like the first line of defense. So,
but Jarvis, we're never set. Saeed, Tom, we're never set. Right, we're always running back. Whether it's the Casemiro, whether it's Eriksen, whether it's Ugarte, we're always running back, and our defense is never set. So our whether it's the Maguire, Delay, or Martinez, or what the lot of Masraoui, everybody's always. We're always running back. We're always the running man. That's what it is, and you can't have that. You cannot have that. But I just want to quickly go because we're getting news today. There's a bit of this going on. Let's get to this. Let me just get to this quickly. There are a bit of this going on today about Manchester United sounding out
Zaggy.
through intermediaries to keep contact, as they know they won't be available in the middle of the season. United will try to appoint Inzaghi in the summer.
It's a dream, isn't it? I don't think you could get him now because of Champions League and they could potentially win it. But I think for me, it's one of them, like, it's just journalists trying to make things up, man. He's never leaving Timber unless you give him money that he can't refuse.
Yeah.
But unless you give him
he doesn't need money, Said, though.
Yeah, I know.
And to be fair, big up Pete. It says, fuck the Dutch light bulb, turn the lights. Yo, turn the lights off, man. Honestly, we need that. Big up Pete. I'll say this, right? The thing what people don't understand is that, like, Serie A is so different. It's so different to the Premier League. And that's why, honestly, the best coach that I can see that can be for Manchester United and what he did with Real Vallecano is good. You know, I like Areola. Like, I genuinely do like Areola. Like, nobody can tell me Bournemouth are playing that good of a football.
I know.
Right? They got 10,000, 12,000 in stadium. That's not even a corner of Old Trafford.
No, not even one.
That's not even a corner at Old Trafford yet.
Not even a quadrant.
There's not even a corner of the stadium. That's United have more. There's at least 15,000, 20,000 in each corner. It's absolutely mad. Or this guy, I'm happy to take a risk with this guy, Hoeneß at Stuttgart.
Yeah, Stuttgart.
Yeah, Stuttgart.
He could leave easily.
Yeah.
He would leave easily.
He's to come to Manchester. And to me, I just want to try with a training ground coach. I don't care. And for the first season, I don't care where we finish.
No.
I swear to you, I don't care where we finish. I wanted to install a style.
Yeah.
Then after the second season,
put principles in place.
Put the performance and wins together.
That's the plan, I think.
Because we need to crawl.
Yeah. Crawl before you can walk.
But then people are like, no, go and bring, I think after the summer, Ancelotti's going to be leaving. Ancelotti to what? One thing I'll say about Ancelotti, though, the players will play for him. That's one thing, though. But how long can that last for me? How long can that last?
It can't. Man management, we've had like this, people always forget this, right? We've had this man management sort of cuddly, friendly sort of coach. That was what Ollie was. Ollie wasn't a coach. He was a guy that inspired players because he's a legendary figure at the club. And they bought into him for like 3 months, played a bit of decent football, and then they all got on board with it. That's how that worked. And because there wasn't any directors at the club that was football experts, that's how he was able to last for as long as he was without having any sort of credibility in football. The same thing, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure at this club would be the exact same as what you had with if you bring in someone like a Southgate. Because for what he has in terms of player ability and skills, because he's been there, he's been a player, he understands how dressing rooms work and stuff. He doesn't know how to set teams up. He doesn't know the tactical side of a game or anything. I can't think of, apart from maybe someone like Ancelotti, who's not this visionary coach, he just hires expert coaches to do the coaching for him, and he works with players. And if a player's in a bit of a shit time or a bit of a shit moment, there's been so many stories over the years of players like John Terry's come out and said things, Frank Lampard's come out and said things about Carlo Ancelotti. They all rate how Carlo Ancelotti dealt management-wise and said like he was one of the best man managers I've ever seen in this league. But then on the flip side of it, they looked at someone like Mourinho and said, in terms of a coach and actually understanding the tactical side of the game and how to set up, Mourinho was far superior to all of the coaches that we ever had, including Carlo. That's what they said about him. The difference is, guys, I agree with what you all said. The modern day of football, you don't hire managers anymore. You hire a coach. That's the way that football works nowadays. You hire a coach who knows the way that he wants to play.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Go on.
Tom, who do you want to replace?
Ruben Amorim. Listen, I'm not going to flip and switch about it. Ruben Amorim, I've seen enough of what he does over at Sporting. And people will come at me and say, well, he's done it over in Portugal. It's the same thing as what you've just done with Ten Hag. The difference is with this guy, what I've seen is he's adaptable. If shit goes wrong, he's done it against Pep when he was fucking 2-0 down in a game at Sporting. They ended up getting a goal back because he completely changed the whole formation in-game. The one thing that I like with Amorim, guys, is if in-game it's going wrong, like in the first 20 minutes, if we're getting bombarded by Vill, he'll flip the formation. He's very charismatic character. He puts his point across the players. There's not this language barabolics. He brings his own team everywhere he goes. And the one thing that I like about him, guys, is he's been a player not so long ago. 6 years ago, he was starting for Benfica, and he won a league title in his last year when he was a player.
He's
He's been a player. He's been a
I
player
remember.
very recently, so he'll understand it from a player's perspective and a management side, but also a coaching aspect. He's done things. He's won their first league title in about 15 years at that football club, and he's won it back to back. So
right, who's your second choice? Quickly,
who's my what, sorry?
Second choice.
I don't do second choices.
There
I
you
go
go,
all
Tom.
in with. I go all in with.
I like that.
Right, Jarvis,
do
quickly.
second choices.
Who do you want post Eric Ten Hag to manage Manchester United?
It depends what direction we want to go into. We have seen, heard talks about Inzaghi. I don't know if you guys are aware his style.
His system is quite different.
He sets up in a 3-5-2 with wingbacks. I don't know
Very
if
much
Man
like a
United
diamond
can do
style,
this.
yeah.
This is the old team with Mkhitaryan and Lilian Thuram and stuff like that. But they have good wingbacks in Dumfries and Di Marco. So we don't have that. I don't see him playing with wingbacks at the
Amarim's a
moment.
bit similar, just to add a bit of context.
Yeah,
guys.
similar.
But he normally plays 3-4-3 instead of 3-5-3. Yeah.
Jarvis, but who do you want? Who do you want, Jarvis?
Yeah, you know, I like Iraola. I think he's a good manager. Michel, I think also he could do a good job, but he's more similar of Ten Hag, more expansive in the way he plays the 3-1-6 or whatever you want to call it. So and you got that guy in Germany, Eintracht Frankfurt. What's his name again?
Younes.
Frankfurt.
Yeah. I think he's a good candidate. But I think it doesn't come. It comes more about personality when it comes to Man United. I think we need a guy with the personality, someone who can come in and actually lead this team in a way. Not I think he can hire coaches to do his job, but he needs to know how to manage, like Ferguson used to do.
Like 100%. To me, the players, you have to be able to do the siege mentality. Saeed, who do you want?
I'm gonna go for the Inter Milan manager. That's my first choice, man. So if that means waiting for an interim, then we wait for interim for the end of the year.
Not Nagelsmann?
Nagelsmann, I don't think he's gonna come. No.
But he's the easiest because he's too young to manage an international team.
No, but he's you know what it is. He's
guys, somebody's thrown this sort of scenario together of, do you think he could do both?
Nah,
because you have to be doing planning for the summer and doing pre-season.
Somebody just made that sort of up and said, well, the World Cup's obviously not till this time next year, and then if he starts at another club, if he wants to resign, he'd just resign from the national team and say it's getting too much.
Plus, you know what would happen? The international stage, you'd keep asking questions about United.
Of course, United.
You know what it's like, innit?
Manchester United is a circus.
That's all that I saw somebody put out there on social media.
The idea, Tom, that the guy is not fully focused on United. Oh my God. Could you imagine the media having a field day?
The media would absolutely crucify him.
Absolutely. You know what? Back in the day, they used to do that. Back in the day, managers used to manage both.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
That's what. No, it did happen back in the day.
You know what? Jimmy Murphy. Let me give you a bit of history. Yeah. Jimmy Murphy. Yeah. Who was Matt Busby's second? It's like second in command. Yeah. He was the number two coach after Matt Busby. Yeah. For Manchester United. You know the reason why he wasn't on the plane and he didn't go travel with United because he was managing Wales because Wales internationals are going to and he was with Wales.
Wow.
Yeah.
So United flew out, and he was with Wales because he was the Wales coach. Jimmy Murphy.
Guys, if we're going to say one thing though with this manager situation, now can we all just agree?
Will somebody take Marco Silva?
He's a decent manager.
He should be on that
Can
list.
we all just agree though, guys? Right?
Thomas Frank, Tom.
Can we stop with this bullshit about going for names? Like when people say like names, if you want to name names, names are like your Ancelottis, your Mourinhos, your Peps, your Klopps. Like that's your higher echelon. That's a name of a brand. That's like a manager who has a brand attached to him. Can we just go for a coach who's actually not even like done much in the game? I'm not even
Morata. I would take Morata.
I'm not even bothered if they've won fuck all. I'm not even bothered if they've not won fuck all. But Morata would want to clear out.
Like Tom
actually has a proper coaching style and just put some time into him. That's all that I want. Even when people are saying about Thomas Frank and that guy, he's been on a journey. He's the only football club manager who doesn't have a billionaire owner backing him. He's got a multi-millionaire owner who's only worth like £30 million. But the way that their clubs run the financials, every penny that they make, the community funds their football club as well. along with it, at the end of the day, when people say this about longevity with managers, you don't get managers that come here, stay 15 years anymore. That's done, mate. You might have a manager who might sign 2 contracts on your door and that's it, and they'll go. But all I'm going to say is, even if the next guy that comes in, I don't expect him to win the Premier League or the Champions League. If he does, it's an added bonus. But if he plays us into a bit of form and the way that we can build a team that's capable of doing that and get to the stage that maybe where Arsenal are right now, which is they're at a stage where they're ready to win, they're just struggling to get over the line, that's then where we will all sit here and say, if you want to go and get an Ancelotti or a proper manager who's got over the line with top players, that's where it would work. But we're nowhere near that stage, guys. We need to build. We need to build, but we've got a decent squad, guys, of players. We've just got a shit coach that's not instructing them correctly at the moment.
No, they don't believe in him. I swear to God, they don't believe in him.
They've worked with him before, and they believe that they're at this. They believe that they're with this guy at that other club at Ajax. You're not at Ajax anymore, guys, and that's why I want
could you imagine as well, Tom,
to come in with new ideas and work with them differently.
Listen,
and see what we get out of some of them.
The players already thought he was going.
Yeah,
like he was gone in the summer. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there you go. But
it's crazy.
They already thought he was gone. Listen, a lot of these players, guys, they've already waved the white flag to him already, if we're being honest with you. Rashford, he's ignoring what he's telling him to do about recycle the ball and keep possession. He's just fucking putting his head down and running, man.
Tomorrow.
He's fed up. A lot of these players are fed up.
Well, there's going to be more circus, innit? I hope he don't drop it because there's going to be more circus. There's going to be more excuses for Erik ten Hag. Yeah. No excuses,
What's the excuse, though? He makes the final decision on who he makes and who keeps in the squad or not. And the fact of that, listen, if you want to believe what this Murdoch's saying from the Mirror, guys, about that there's a rift between Van Nistelrooy and Ten Hag. No, but if people want to believe this, right, guys, if he's your assistant, why the fuck did you bring him in when you knew it was going to be an issue then and you're going to be criticised for it? Because he's been a manager somewhere else and he has pedigree and he has a connection to this club. If shit starts going wrong with you, you're going to be exiled or there's going to be a question up for date. Ten Hag knew this when he appointed him. So at the end of the day, Ten Hag, he's got nowhere left to hide. He got his coaches that he wanted. He's had 3 years of full backing. And I don't just mean, Saeed says this all the time about he spent 600 million and that's one of his best quotes that he's ever made. Right? When these points get made, he's not just had the backing financially, guys. He's had the backing throughout this fucking football club's tenure. He's survived a takeover. He survived financial difficulties. He survived fucking the lead review in the summer. He survived all these little scandals or scenarios that's happened within our club. And now when we're actually trying to stabilise, if you like, with proper football people in place, this is where the decisions have to be made. But if we want to believe what Barada and Ashworth both said in their athletic interviews, that they had no input and no decision-making over it, where they will be judged is the next guy that they bring in permanently. Because that is the guy that they are putting faith in.
But Tom, I'm not going to lie to you, and Saeed and Jarvis, and we'll move on. But they've changed everybody in Ineos except for him. They've changed his even coaches. They've changed everybody but except for him.
Yeah.
And usually, when you get a new project, you take over the whole thing and you change everybody. But then because those people are your people and you judge their performances, you know what I mean? You judge them on their performance.
He's the last man standing.
Listen, the media for me...
The media know what they're doing, though, innit?
To me, there's no smoke without fire. The fact that we know about this meeting on Tuesday, the fact that we know about all these things and people are saying this, you know what I mean? Big up Strat Gamer TV, big up, man. Like, the idea that this is happening is just beyond me. For me, these things are done for a reason. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys. How long are you willing to give to the new manager before you start asking for his head again? Because we all know that the fan base we have a huge fan base. Someone likes entertainment, someone likes results, someone likes youth development, style of play, playing types, attitude, trophies. You can name it all. Strong
for me,
18 months.
For me, 18 months.
And what's realistic? But what's realistic with this club at the current moment?
Style of play, proper
because
style
we
of
need
play,
results at the end of the day, and we need to start winning. When
no,
will we
Jarvis,
start winning?
Jarvis. I'm not bothered about winning anymore. We all
I'm
said
not.
this. We
I'm
weren't
not.
bothered
We've done it
about
for 10
winning
years,
trophies.
Jarvis.
10 years,
There's
yeah.
no point in winning an FA Cup if you don't then try and build after that to then try and win league titles. There's no point. Arsenal right now, as fans, they are starved to win a trophy. But do you know what? They walk into that club year in, year out when they buy the season tickets with that belief at the end of the season they can be champions. When if one Manchester United fan buys a season ticket, they aren't buying that season ticket with that belief and that dream at the end of the season. We're going to see the Premier League on Old Trafford's turf. We don't believe that. Fans don't buy a season ticket for that. So the best thing that they can do as a new coach coming in, if they bring in a coach in this season, Jarvis, we'll give them this season as like a clear way path to work out who he can work with and who he can't work with. Then in the summer, you can get rid of who he doesn't want, who he does want. The difference is the Ineos setup that they've said is we do not buy players for a manager. We buy players for a style of play. And that's it. You get 18 months. If it works, they stay on. If it don't work, it's the manager that's the problem. You're not getting the best out of it. But at least when that manager leaves your club, you've got a squad of players who are similarly minded in one way to play football. So then the next manager that you bring in, Jarvis, might coach the way that those players are used to. So you've not wasted your money. That's what we've all said that we just want. But the difference is for the last 5 managers, like from back since Moyes to all the way since Ten Hag now, we've bought players which fit so many different styles. We don't even fucking know what style to suit anymore. That's the problem. But when you get to the biggest thing is this, where you can give them 18 months, then we'll give them the time to coach. But we need a coach, not a manager. And we don't need names. We need an up-and-coming coach. I don't care if you've won something or not. You can win something at this club if you're going to be a great coach. That's how it works.
The biggest thing is this, yeah. I totally understand what Jarvis, the point that you're trying to get to. And
I do as well.
Right. So if Manchester United didn't have the football structure, I would be with you because I'd be like, okay, he's not going to get the help and the support in the background. He's got lots to do. We know how huge this football club is. But now that we've got football structure, Jarvis, if you look at the top 14 teams in Europe, yeah, if you looked at the top 14, 15 teams in Europe, the average stay for a manager is 18 months.
Average, yeah.
18 months is the average. Modern football has changed so much so that fans now football, because there's more football on, there's social media. Football is the entertainment business. It's like UFC. You've got to see something to back. So for me, at United, we always sing the song. The song is always about us. We've seen it all. We've seen it all. We have. So to get back to where we get back to, Manchester United need to crawl, to walk, to sprint. That is what we have to do. So for me, if the next 18 months the man comes in and doesn't show us up, to me, as a manager and as players, the fans, especially Old Trafford, you have to show something for us to get behind. You can't just be there passive. If you're passive, then we're going to be passive. It's the energy thing. It's a give and take. At times when you're struggling because you have shown us something before, we're going to carry you today. And under Eric Ten Hag, no more than any other manager. And it happened with Ralph Ranieri. Remember, in the Champions League, we qualified under Oli as well. The fans gave so much, literally sometimes being the 12th player on the football pitch. So for me, that is what it is. And now we got football structure. Like Tom said, we need coaches. We don't need managers, because managing the team is the director of football, it's the head of the recruitment, it's the technical director, it's the football structure, it's Dodgy Dave, Dodgy Adworth, Dodgy Omar, all these people who have to face up and fix up. So for me, we now hire coaches. We don't go away, and the style of play that the first coach that we get has to be similar to other coaches we get. We can't go and get a Louis van Gaal and then get a Jose Mourinho and then get an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You can't. And then go and get Ralph Ranieri and expect him to do something. No, you need modern day, and that's how it goes. To me, also, like you look at the history of Manchester United. In the 70s, we went down. 80s, we came back. We had Dave Sexton. We had, what's his name? Ron Atkinson, who took us to that. Fergie came in and took us. But in that time, football, it was only one game on TV. It was You had to wait for Match of the Day was the biggest thing where like Match of the Day used to get 20,000 people watching. Can you imagine? That's how it used to be. And everybody were late, so the patience wasn't. So it wasn't more football fans to analyze football. There wasn't any of that. So you just had to wait and go, right, hopefully next season and the season after, he'll turn it around. Or everybody knew Fergie from season 1. Behind the scenes, he was getting rid of the drinking culture. He got rid of so many players. He brought in coaches, his own coaches. He was trying to bring, people forget that. Ryan Giggs played for Man City. Ryan Giggs was a youth player at Man City. And then I think something happened. He didn't sign the YTS. Manchester United robbed him. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because Fergie got scouts everywhere watching all around Manchester talent. And that's where the bus, we get the class of 92 and everything else. So people have to understand modern football has changed. And as United fans, we were always thought we have to give a manager a chance. Well, because other 15 clubs in European football had football structures and we didn't. But now that is over. Hire a coach. And 18 months for me is what we say. 18 months. You have to.
But the next question is: do you trust this structure to do the right thing?
Well, at the end of the day, for me, but you know me, Jarvis, I'm always on Ineos watch. Like for me, at the end of the day, that's why I told the fans. Doesn't mean because you got a football structure that is everything's set. It means you have to be able to stick individuals in that structure if they're not performing to the liking of the owners of the football club. That's where we go. So for me, it's simple. But 700 of you here, and we're not even on 400 likes. It's an absolute shame. Fergie had European pedigree with Aberdeen. Yeah, 100%. That's why I said Fergie beat with little. Listen, Fergie stopped the dominance of Celtic and Rangers. This was the height of Celtic and Rangers, Saeed and Tom and Jarvis and the family. Yeah. He broke the power play of the two biggest teams in Scotland who were, it was like Rangers win the league one season, Fergie came and built a team. Then he beat Real Madrid in a final. That was the last final they lost. Look it up.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
It's true.
It's the last. So this idea of somebody having a pedigree, Fergie wasn't kept in a job because of what he was doing in the training ground. Fergie was kept in a job because he was changing the fundamentals. And he had Busby there as well. People forget that Busby was about still. Busby was still about. So it is what it is. But people, please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. And the only other thing, I think, the other topic that I had was Jim speaks. But when Jim's speaking, there's something when he's getting on camera and it's like, well, it's not up to me. I don't make the decisions. I'm like, are you taking the piss? So you just spent you spent $1.5 billion to take control of football. And you're saying, but the fact that he was going to come to the Villa game as well to put more pressure on Eric Ten Hag.
Don't do anything.
No, guys, he started off saying, I don't want to answer that question. And then he fucking answered it anyway. That's what makes me laugh.
Saeed said it. The man's a politician, isn't it?
Politician, man.
I swear to God.
Honestly, he could be in Parliament with a fucking lot of them. He really could.
Yeah. And this is where it is, people. This is where it is. But at the end of the day, we'll be here tomorrow, live with Saeed.
Yeah.
I won't be bringing no biryani. I'm here with my dry, crusty flapjack. I don't bring biryani. Saeed don't shower me with biryani. I don't bring biryani, mate. I bring little snacks, and I'm there. Yeah. Saeed's stressed out, looking like that, and I'm just like, it's Man United, mate. And I think Eric Ten Hag is fundamentally wrong in the way he sets up the team. He fundamentally doesn't know how to set. He hasn't learned from the Premier League. He spent 2 seasons here. He hasn't learned. So, and gaps everywhere. So for me, I expect to see Gaps FC tomorrow. Honestly, Gaps FC. And we'll be here. Big up to Jarvis. Big up to Tom as well. Yeah, make sure people you check out Jarvis Cocker Bowley 77. Never gonna give you. That's why he doesn't want to give up on Ten Hag. I didn't want to. Never gonna. It's because he doesn't. Astley, mate. Rick Astley, man, like Rick Astley. If you know, you know. And Tom, make sure you check out Tom Journalist one as well, please. We'll be back tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, maybe we might even do it here, but we'll see tomorrow. See what other games are on. If Saeed's doing any other watch-alongs, but we'll be live here as well to analyze the game and go, what's going on? Win or lose or draw. But this is what I always say, win, lose or draw, stop the genocide. It's been a year. Like, if you listen to the Lancet, which is a well-respected medical journal in the country, they reckon over 200,000 people are dead in Palestine. They're bombing Lebanon. They're bombing all sorts of countries. They're bombing Syria. So we know we stop imperialism, colonization, and the war machine. We're always with peace. We always want peace. But before we get the peace, we want justice and liberation to them all. Anybody in the world, wherever they are, if they're oppressed, we stand to shoulder with them. Tigray, Ogaden, Sudan, Congo, Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, and anywhere else. Haiti, what's happening in Haiti and how the Trump and that coming out about the eating dogs and stuff like that. Like just the most ridiculous, racist, dehumanizing language. We stand with anybody who's oppressed. Big up. Nuruddin, what does he say? Israel does not have the majority of humans on their side. There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm a fan of, he says,
it's a thingy.
it's crazy. Listen, you know these bots, I swear to God, they make these bots, yeah? And when I think about these bots, yeah, I always think the amount of intuiginity that you absolutely like took to make this. Saeed, I swear to God, I take it as a compliment. I take it as a compliment that you literally go and build a bot, like, and you built the kind of thing, and you are here to shout your name. But you know what? You get banned out here, man. You know what? Chonky is one of us, mate. Marley's nobody ashamed here. We're proud of him. So big up Chunks, but big up to you though. Banned. Ta-da. That's what we say, people. Free the people, free the land, Palestine. From Palestine to Congo.
Free everyone, man.
Everybody free. And we always stand with the oppressed. But big up. Tom Journalist 1, Jarvis Cocker, Bowley 77. Monday nights at 9 o'clock, he does the Jarvis Corner. So go and check out Man UFC Realist TV. And big up Mick as well. Look, some more coming. It's a compliment. I'm taking this as the biggest compliment. Thank you. But Tara. Yeah, we're going to be here with tomorrow with Saeed Lavalo. And it's Vaz here as well. It's Vaz. Vaz will be here as well. Vaz, bring me some of that biryani, lad. Forget Saeed. I want the biryani. I don't care if they're losing or not, mate. I'm going to eat regardless. Big up, please keep smashing a like on the video and let us know in the comments. What do you think the score's going to be? Who's your team? And do you think Erik ten Hag is here to stay till Christmas at least? Or do you think that Tuesday meeting is ominous? Let us know in the comments. Big up Malcolm as well. Big up Malcolm, MK. Big up. Love, 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 love. Good night, people. Appreciate you guys. Take care. Good night.